Guys, thanks for waiting. Welcome to another Flying Pig preview. As you can see, again, it's the fans on. We're doing these previews sometimes when Pigger needs some help. So obviously, we're going to be talking about the big game, the big derby coming up. Liverpool versus Man United. I got to say Man United first. Man United because we're at home anyway. Man United versus Liverpool is coming up on Sunday, 4:30. And I'm here with the boys. Here with John Shin. He was on quite a while ago, actually. Some guys should remember Mr. John Shin. Where have you been at, my friend?
Hey, it's been a while. I know, Mr. Flying Pig and I go way back. For the people in the chat that are new, he actually helped me start my YouTube career, if you will. He asked me to verse him in a pink slips. This was back in like FIFA 16 or something like that. It was crazy.
Going back a bit, man.
He's my sensei, but I'm always happy to hop on and contribute to his channel. You know, the Flying Pig family are absolute legends. They've always been nothing but love to me, so I'm glad to be on.
Yeah, I mean, Pigger is like Mr. Miyagi. He has quite a few Karate Kid children because he's inspired me too. I'm just starting my YouTube as well. And there's other people in the chat, such as Griffo Chaz, who's in here right now. G Wolf as well. He's been inspired. People like Rudy Can't Game. But anyway, before I get into shout outs, anyway, we've got a man like Usman on again. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing okay, man. Obviously, always a pleasure to be on. Like you said, he's inspired a lot of people. Obviously, myself as well. He was one of the first people I started watching, to be fair. So it's always a pleasure to be on his platform.
Nice one, mate. So I've got to get into the shout outs now then. Who's in here? Griffo Chaz, I shouted you out already. You got 2 shout outs, mate. Marco, big up to you. Arctic United, thanks for getting in here, mate. Alliance Boss, Bell, one of the legends as well. He's a member. Thanks for getting in here. Kay Slater, who's been on a previous show. Thanks for getting in here, mate. So everyone, you know the policy, okay? When you get in here, you know, you take your shoes off, you get comfortable, and then you hit that like button. And obviously, if you're new, you know, just hit that subscribe. It's free material. And, you know, if it's free material, why not subscribe and give it a chance? You know, that's what I'm saying. So let's get into it. Okay, it's a big game. And we've just had that game where we come back against Atlanta. And that's been the kind of trademark thing where we come back, where we've been hailed the comeback kings. And you can't deny it. I mean, since last season, there was a big 10-game record we set last season. And then, 3-2, second half, great performance in the second half. And then we've got Liverpool now. So I'll just get into the injury news for Man United. So we've got Bruno is actually a doubt. Bruno and Fred are actually doubts for the game. So that, I mean, I don't know about Fred, but Bruno will be a big miss. Rashford has a dead leg, but he's got to start for me. I mean, we'll get into what people are thinking in terms of Usman and John. We'll get into people's teams. Martial will be assessed, and Varane is not back again, so we're still having to survive with that the big man at the back. As for Liverpool, they don't really have major injuries. I mean, their guy Harvey Elliott, who was like a graduate from the academy, he's still missing with his injury. Thiago, who's not really featured anyway, he's missing, and another academy graduate, Curtis Jones, was injured. He's back in contention. So other than that, they've got a full team. So I mean that's the injury news for that. We're going to get into what people think, what teams people think that Man United is going to play, and what we think Liverpool is going to do as well. So let's get straight into it. Actually, John. Before we get into that, let's talk about the Atlanta game actually, because we can't go over that. We can't miss that out before we get into the Liverpool game. What's your thoughts in general actually for that game? I mean, you know, it's hard to put into words what this team does sometimes. We start a game and we don't really look drilled. We look a bit passive, and then as soon as we go down a few goals, and then there's like debatably maybe there's an Ole hairdryer treatment at half time. where we come in, come out guns blazing in the second half and we start going. What's your view on that, John?
Well, if I'm looking at it from the big picture perspective, I think the underlying theme of Manchester United since Sir Alex Ferguson's left is that we're always unbalanced. We've always been either top heavy or left heavy or mid heavy, back heavy. We're always heavy somewhere. We have to find the balance. And the match against Atalanta showed clearly that this side is always going to be unbalanced unless Ole Gunnar Solskjaer finds the team balance perfectly down to the T, or else we'll never be able to get the identity that people are crying out for, the style of play, the attacking formations, the transitions through the thirds. All of that stuff is going to go out the window unless Ole Gunnar Solskjaer finds a balance. Because when we were playing against Atalanta, going 2 down like that, I know, I understand. Some people are going to be like, hey, you can't just blame that on Ole. It was the defensive casualties and whatnot. But it's not just the game against Atalanta. We've seen against Villarreal. We've seen against many times, especially this season when things started to go down, how unbalanced we could look at times. What do you think
the imbalance is then? Do you think it's the players or tactics or a bit of a combination of both?
That's a great question. So this is the way I see it, and I know some people might argue with me and disagree with me, which is fine, but I think that the unbalance, the situation with respect to it being unbalanced is because we've brought in Cristiano Ronaldo. And look, before the CR7 fans just come straight from my neck, I'm gonna let you guys know, don't you worry. CR7 is a great signing. That being said, Manchester United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer last season, especially when we signed Edison Cavani, we were the closest we could ever become in terms of finding that balanced approach. We thought we needed a proper number 9, and people were sort of suspicious of signing an old Cavani. But once he came in, he showed the level of industry and quality that we really haven't seen from our 9.
He's still got his legs. He
does.
I don't see the age, especially when he came on against Atlanta. He was pressing like mad.
Yeah, there was a situation where I think the Atalanta player was on the left-hand side, and Cristiano Ronaldo just gave up on the ball, and Cavani was on the far right, and the man just fucking, excuse my French, but he just gunned it to push and press.
He also did that when he was next to Sancho, and he passed to Sancho. It was a bit of a bad pass. Sancho went on, gave up on it, and he went and ran ahead of Sancho to get the ball as well. So I don't know if that was another chance to where that happened, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Exactly. So if we're whether it be industry or whether it be quality on the ball, off the ball, long balls, whatever the strategy may be, we were coming up with something last season. But with Cristiano Ronaldo's introduction, he is a player as much as world-class as he might be. He is, getting old, and he also does come with a bit of caveats and a bit of things that we need to sort of make up for. And that shape, the transitions, it's completely been thrown off. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's main job this season, and ASAP, as soon as possible, has to be to find that balance, or else we're not going to get results, or else we're not even going to be able to play any games at that point. And I'm not trying to sound miserable, but we showed against Atalanta. That side was missing half their first teamers, and they were bringing on a bunch of young kids, and we were getting clapped in that first half. We cannot see that. We just cannot. Yeah,
man. Okay, I just got to get into a super chat real quick. Big up to the maestro Eddie O2, what's that word? Inimitable. The inimitable Osman. It must be a good word anyway, because Osman's been getting some good, some good fan reactions. So big up the maestro Eddie O2, the inimitable Osman, and the legend John Shin. Let's smash up Cloppies, Floppies, Jalopies on Sunday. That's what good. She really appreciate that, mate. But I just want to talk about Ronaldo a little bit. I don't want to get it's before we come to you, Osman. It's just with Ronaldo, you can't really argue against him when he gets them winners like that. It wasn't last minute, last 10 minutes, whatever it was, last 15 minutes header. But the thing is, some people were saying he was playing good for the game as well. I don't think he looked good outside of the box, to be honest. I don't think he looks, because he's 36, you can understand. He looks after himself, but it's going to be wear and tear. You can't turn back the hands of time and keep your legs fresh, even if you keep eating dry chicken like he does. No fried chicken, no fried products, but he's still got a bit of wear and tear. Some of the step overs he's done in the past few games, it looked a bit wooden. But I'm not going to go and attack Ronaldo now. He's a legend, man. Osman. He looked a bit wooden though, but that's why we've got to play to his strengths now, which is one touch finish, big man header, or tap in all of these little finishes. But yeah, Usman, let's get into what you think of that game against Atlanta, then, mate.
Yeah, just quickly on the Ronaldo thing. Like, I'm obviously very pro Ronaldo, as some people may know. But like, for me personally, right, I hear what you guys are saying with the imbalance. But my question to you guys is, were we setting the world like last season when Ronaldo wasn't there? Like, I personally think that this whole Ronaldo criticism is justified to an extent, but at the same time, it's somewhat being scapegoated and is masking over the bigger issue, which is the system. And for me personally, you can say what you want about Ronaldo, as in his deficiencies, i.e., not his inability to press or whatever people want to put at his door, and I understand that, I respect that. But for me personally, Cristiano Ronaldo is a 30-goal striker, and at the end of the day, if you provide someone with that quality service, he will score consistently. And I think this conversation wouldn't be happening if you went to Manchester City. Why is that? Because Manchester City are a well-oiled machine, and that is the crux of the issue for me. If you went to Bayern Munich, let's say Lewandowski's no longer there, obviously we know that's not going to happen, but if you went into Bayern Munich, he would literally go and replace Lewandowski, without any qualms, without any sort of drawbacks on what Ronaldo doesn't offer. So for me, although I do agree, but I feel like the consistent issue with the striker position is a lack of creativity, not necessarily personnel-wise, but in terms of the amount of chances we create, it doesn't seem to be frequent enough for the strikers. That was the same under Martial, that was the same under Cavani, obviously now Ronaldo.
So, Osman, let me ask you, sorry to interrupt, but let me ask you, because you're coming towards it, I reckon, but I was trying to set you up anyway. Why did we have a good second half where we seemed like we were providing that service, and eventually Ronaldo got his service for that kind of header? Why wasn't that in the first half, do you think?
So this is the issue. The Atlanta game for me is a perfect example of a manager in the first half who's a coward, and in the second half he has no leg to stand on. He has to throw caution to the wing the second half. We're 2-0 down at halftime. Manchester United currently sat at bottom of that group. We had to get the 3 points. Okay, a draw may have been okay, but as we all know, in the Champions League, you've got to win your home games. He had to throw caution to the wind. Similar to the Southampton game, if you cast your memory back, 2-0 down at halftime, he has to sub Cavani on at halftime. We win that 3-2. We literally went for the game. It was exactly the same in this game. The second half, for me, is what I expect from Manchester United Football Club at home. The intensity, sustaining attacks, the desire to win the ball high up the pitch, in particular Fred, who I thought was phenomenal in the second half, alongside other players such as Bruno. The complete dynamic of the game changed because we had no other choice. And that's what it comes down to. Oli plays with a handbrake on, for me personally, too many times. And the second half, he had no choice. He had to allow the players to go forward. He had to commit more players forward. He had to throw on those attacking subs. He had to sub on a Cavani. He had to sub on a Sancho. He had to sub on a Pogba. Against Leicester, he subs on McTominay. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, when we need a goal, like, he's too cautious. If it was up to him, he would have subbed on Scott McTominay, but he was already on the pitch hiding, so he had to take him off. So, for me personally, obviously I don't want to sit and bash Oli, but it's literally so evident that in the first half, that was his game plan. The second half, the game plan went out the window because he had no choice. We had to somehow find a way to get back in it. And you look at the Southampton game where we won 3-2, the one I'm referencing, it's exactly the same scenario. 2-0 down at halftime. He subs on Edison Cavani at halftime and he bags the 2 goals and he sets up Bruno. And in that second half, it was a mirror image of the second half because we literally went for it.
So do you think that could actually work as a formula then? Because we've seen it. I mean, I already mentioned at the start that we had a big 10 games where we came back from goals down. I think we set a record, like I said earlier. You've just mentioned a reference to pretty much a mirror image of what this Atlanta game was, where Southampton went down by 2 goals, came back 3-2, exactly the similar kind of performance, wasn't it? It's almost like this is Ole's formula. If you can even make going down by goals a formula, I don't think that is even sane to do that, because the amount of energy you have to go through to drag a performance out of the fire and come back second half. You're making things harder for yourself, which seems like it doesn't seem like that's logical. I mean, John Sheen, what do you think then? Do you think Ole can actually? Do you think he's actually going to make that kind of thing a formula? Because it keeps happening where we go down a goal and then we try and come back and then We're celebrating.
Look, I know the fan base is very divided right now on the whole concept of Ollie in or Ollie out. And let's get the facts straight, right? He is a qualified manager at the end of the day, and I'm sure he knows more than us. But we are obviously entitled to our own opinions, and we do feel like there are inefficiency within Ollie's coaching methods. That's a fact. And I'm pretty sure when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets everybody at Old Trafford, he's in that dressing room. I'm pretty sure he's not going to say, lads, go concede 2 so we can clap him 3 goals in second half and bring up the half. I'm sure he's not doing that. However, the way I see his management methods, especially on the pitch, it seems like too much of a gamble. We've talked so many times about how he has an over-reliance on his starter players, his star performers. And when things turn south, it goes real south because he doesn't use the entire squad to the fullest extent. I don't mean to compare him to Sir Alex Ferguson, but Sir Alex Ferguson had the ability to get 110% out of everybody. He made Darren Gibson, Tom Cleverley, Gabriel Obertan look like fucking bosses, right? And
Darren Fletcher, I don't know if you said him.
No, Darren Fletcher is he's an unsung hero.
Yeah,
he's a great player. I'm talking about the bad players that he made look good. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I don't want to talk too much because I don't want to take too much time. But this is what I saw, especially in that Atalanta game, and I think you guys were talking about why we conceded 2 goals early on. I'm going to show you guys a little graphic that I made here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me know if you guys can see that, chat. So, very, very simply speaking, we lined up in a 4-2-3-1, and here is just a very simple drawing of what happened, right? When we press, especially when the ball's in their initial third, CR7 obviously has the freedom to reign, and Bruno, before CR7's arrival, used to be able to roam freely. But in order
I think he still does that.
Sorry?
I think he still roams free, that Bruno. I don't see
exactly.
I think that's an issue, to be honest.
Exactly. So if you have 2 players that one, especially Cristiano Ronaldo, don't get me wrong, he presses. I don't know if you guys are watching. Some people are just like, oh, he doesn't press. No, he presses. It's just that when he presses, he doesn't have the ability to track back as aggressively as somebody that has a bit more pace and a little bit more energy, like a Cavani, for instance. But just to keep going here, the front 4 here is just going to go press really high up, and Bruno's going to leave this space that he usually likes to occupy at times, especially when we see Bruno's industry last season. Now, you go forward here. If we potentially lose the ball in that situation, our forwards, especially our wingers, are so high up and so wide that it's going to continuously make it difficult for not only just Cristiano and Bruno, but these 2 to come track back. It's going to be difficult. That shape is going to be all over the place, and you leave a huge gap in the middle. Friend Scott McTominay, of course, they're doing their job, but because of the width and the lack of support from the flanks, they're going to get stretched wide. And then what happens when you get stretched wide? You leave your central defenders exposed. And then at that point, you become a bit more over-reliant on your central defenders to make some sort of proper decision. And don't get me wrong, Harry Maguire is a class defender. But you cannot leave your central defenders, especially in this day and age of football, you cannot leave your central defenders alone because you're just asking for disaster. And we've seen that time and time and again. We've seen midfield completely dismantle Manchester United's midfield. And I'm going to put my hands up. I roast Fred a lot of times. I think he's an ineffective player, but to his defense, sometimes in terms of the way we structure our shape, especially when the transition occurs from the opposition perspective, we don't see the quality in terms of tracking back, fixing the shape. There's that lack of leadership. There's that lack of quality, especially when it comes to structural formation on a defensive aspect. And I think that's where Ollie is a bit short. And I think we need to fix that. We definitely need to.
That was good analysis there. First class gamer saying John with the sketchpad like me. You're getting rated for the sketchpad graphics there. United till I die. Lol. That's maybe at the sketchpad still. But the analysis there, you can't even like put any kind of downer on the way you've explained that. You explained it to a great level there, because we've seen that since the Villarreal loss in the Europa Cup final, where exactly what you were just describing happened. We seemed to play 4 defenders, then two defensive midfielders covering them, and everyone else was just going and then almost marking the Villarreal's backline. And it's like, if you do that, you're not going to create space to get to do kind of 1-2s and things like that. Yeah, go on.
Add, obviously to what John said, like the 4-2-4, obviously, which is, there's an image going around, I think Paul Scholes kind of referred to it, which is what John just basically illustrates, was it's like, for me personally, Bruno Fernandes, all the coaching staff, 1 and the 2 are culpable for this complete, absolute lapse of coaching. I don't understand what's going on. Like, I don't see how you press as a 4 and then a 2 and a 4. It doesn't make sense. I mean, the ability to get bypass is absolutely second to none. They're going to easily bypass you, as John just demonstrated, that massive gap in the middle of the park. And then that's where overloads create. If you look at the Leicester game, where people are saying Pogba and Matic had a poor game, of course they had a poor game. But if you actually watch that game and analyze it properly, they had overloads. It was 3v2 in the midfield because Bruno Fernandes is constantly out of position. And this isn't a grab at Bruno, because I don't know if it's a Bruno thing. I don't know if it's a coaching thing. They might have told him to play and press like that. I don't know.
But we did hear, though, I'm sure it was last season where we heard that Ole was saying to Bruno, just come in and do what you did at Sporting. I heard that.
Yeah, but the issue is, again, I know a lot of people have, pro Bruno, against Bruno. For me, Bruno Fernandes off the ball is costing Manchester United our shape a lot, because he constantly goes past the striker. As a cam, you got to stay in your position. You got to play as the midfield 3. I don't understand why he's pressing into the striker's realm, because they can easily bypass that, and then they got a 3v2 overload in the middle of the park, and that's why we consistently get dominated. That's why consistently our double pivot doesn't look as good as it probably should do. I think Bruno Fernandes needs to stay in his position. If we're gonna press, they need to press as a unit, i.e. the two in the box to box rolls, or the double pivot, so to speak. They need to be joining that press. You don't press as a 4, you press as a 6 or a 10. You don't at the moment. Man United are pressing. Bruno goes, Ronaldo goes, and then Greenwood stays. It's so easy to bypass it. So it's almost like we're caught between two tactics. Are we pressing? Are we sitting? Which one is it? Because at the moment, the back 4 and the 2 people in the DM are sitting, and the front 4 are pressing. So it doesn't really make sense. So obviously, as John said, that big space for me is so easy solvable. It's unbelievable. Get Bruno to stay in his position and get the front 3 to press, and then the 3 midfielders would then join them in the press. So for me, it's just a coaching thing. It's quite easily fixable. I don't understand why it's not happened.
Okay, well, we're going to get into what you guys will think that Ole would change versus Liverpool then, because that's the preview we're doing now. I've just got to get some more shout outs to people in the chat. Thanks to AK for getting in here. I said first class gamer. Thanks again, mate, for getting in here. Ellie, one of the great mods. Thanks for getting in here. Gungshi, another great mod. G Wolf Gaming, another great mod. Jamie Dean, United Till I Die. I shot a draw already. Everyone, keep hitting the like, and obviously subscribe if you're new, and just share the preview as well. Let's get everyone in chatting and debating. Arctic United, what are you saying before I go to something else? Ole also said he likes Fred's smile when asked about some good traits of Fred. Okay, I'm not even going to get into Fred yet, but I want to talk about the form right now. I mean, does form? I'm going to talk about the form actually before I ask if it means anything. So right now we've got Liverpool second place, 18 points, still unbeaten, 5 wins, 3 draws. Scored 22 goals, only letting 6. I think that's a pretty good ratio there. So they got in the last 5 games, won 3, drawn 2. Man United in 6th place. I mean, technically, I hear some fans saying we're not in the title race anymore because of just how bad these losses and draws have been. But what is it? We're 14 points, 4 points off of Liverpool. If we win this, we actually turn it around. On paper, we turn it around. I'm not sure what the performance is going to be. We've talked about how sketchy we are in terms of a first half performance, but we've got to turn around the form, which is 2 wins out of 5 that we got, 2 losses and 1 draw. John, because this is a derby, it's a Scouser and Mank derby. Will any of this kind of form be taken into that, or do you think this is just going to be like a cup final kind of thing?
Yes and no. I think Man United versus Liverpool is always a game that's exciting, intense, anxious for both sets of fans, regardless of when Manchester United were absolutely dominating when Liverpool were absolute dog poo-poo. We were still we would always still be, a bit edgy in terms of playing against Liverpool, just because of the rivalry over the years of tradition and history that follows. No, you don't need to tell any Manchester United fan that. So in some sense, I guess, form being out the window is a potential, and of course, in Ollie's perspective, a good situation, because Manchester United, like you mentioned, is not in a good run of form. That being said, I think that only applies a bit when you're really talking about class managers. And here again, I'm not trying to rinse Ollie here, but let's say, and I know I cannot believe I'm using this example, but for instance, let's say, a Pep Guardiola side. I've watched his side play I've watched his Barcelona sides. I've watched his Bayern Munich sides. Whenever they used to get these 1 or 2 off games where they just hit a slump, the game thereafter, no fan is thinking, "Oh my God, Pep Guardiola is in a state of nightmare. They're gonna be asked. They're gonna be jeopardized. Are they gonna get a result?" Nobody is put under that pressure when you're a Pep because of the status that you've already built up. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still a manager in the works. Yes, he's had experience over the years, but he's still trying to prove himself. And that aspect of his size being put under the pressure will be greater than in comparison to other managers, because
John, you made such a good point there, because I'm just thinking in my mind, this is Ole's third full season. We had 2.5 seasons. This should not be long enough to establish yourself and establish your philosophy to the point where it's not like, okay, you go through a bad run of form and it's like, okay, maybe it's Ole out again. We've already done the Ole out, Ole in thing last season, where, like we said, there was 10 comebacks. So how can we still do the comeback thing? Like now, it's like, yeah, why is there not a a standard where you say, this is what Pep's done, he knows what he's doing. Maybe we had a one-off bad game, yeah, but this is what's going to go on now. We know what kind of football we're going to get. But it's like the way we play football, it's like we have to rely on, did the players get told off at halftime? They've got detention after school, they get told off. You got to do your homework now, that kind of thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. So it's like,
it's because, in this world, they say money talks, right? And in the world of football, trophies talk, right? And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has yet to win one. And Manchester United's been hitting a drought for 4 years now. He needs to win something. And that's why fans are just getting a bit impatient with the fact that we've not won anything in so long. He has to prove it this season. It's a make or break. Fans are getting to that point where they're like, all right, we've given you enough time. We've been singing all these at the wheel. You better be on the fucking wheel, because we got to get something this season. So, we're getting to that point. That's why I understand the front fans' frustration. And don't get me wrong, I'm a fan too. If I see Fred out there trying to take a 45-yard screamer and then turn around smiling at his team when they work so fucking hard to win that ball back, I'm pissed off. Y'all are pissed off. I'm pissed off just as much as you. You know what I mean?
Yo, John, what do you think about this? Daniel Farker's in the place. What do you think of me as manager?
All right, comments like that, with all due respect, you gotta, if you hit us with a super chat, you can bring it back up. But if there's no super chat, don't bring that back up. So going back to the main point is, I understand the fans' frustration, and I, like you said, Eddie, why are we still questioning these things like that? It's because, very simple, Ole hasn't won anything yet. If he wins something, then people are going to look at the good things that's happened at Ole's time, because, oh shit, he did something right. That's why he won something. But he hasn't won anything yet. He's obviously lost in the Europa League final. The bad things are going to get highlighted, and it's just the conclusion of what's happening since last season. So this is the make or break. No questions asked.
Okay. Usman, I want to put that same thought to you then. Is the team going to take this last game where they've got the confidence now? There's got to be some kind of confidence where you got a 3-2 comeback. Are they going to take that into the game, or maybe there's going to be the issues of the bad form in their mind, or is it just going to be a cup final where they're looking at it and saying, okay, Liverpool versus Man United, we'll just go for it, cup final?
Yeah, just quickly on the Pep thing, very briefly. Pep and Ole have actually both been managers for the same amount of years. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I didn't know that.
So if I'm not mistaken, I feel like it's the same, like 12 years, give or take. So this whole notion that Ole hasn't established himself is because he's not good enough. That's basically why. I mean, he's had plenty of time, and at the end of the day, as we've already mentioned, he still doesn't have a philosophy after 3 years. So for me personally, this is Ole's opportunity to really flip the script, because in terms of a Man United fan going into this game, he has to win this game. We have to win this game. As a Manchester United fan with ambitions to compete, for this trophy, i.e. the league title, we have to win this game on the weekend. It's as simple as that. Because if we don't win this game, we're 7 points off Chelsea come October. Every single United fan, whether you're Ole in, Ole out, all agreed on the same thing: title challenge minimum. No one said, I mean, some people will say you should win the title. Some people are more realistic, like myself, who said we probably finished third. However, nevertheless, we all agreed that this team is good enough to at least compete in the title.
You know what, Usman? Usman, we're not all agreed because some people are still saying, okay, because Man United also came up with a statement we're looking for a game-changing centre defensive mid.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but if anyone's saying that, I don't want to come too rude, but you're deluded because you can't tell me a team that's come second and bought Ronaldo, Varane, and Sancho and should not be competing. Apparently, we're the second best team in England. That's what I kept hearing in summer. So let's stop moving the goalposts to suit your narratives.
But we came second. Fred in there. We got
it doesn't matter. He came second with Fred. I got told that wasn't a fluke. So therefore, by that admission, I'll accept that. You can't add Sancho, Varane, and Ronaldo to a team that finished second, and then tell me that we should be coming fourth. We gotta be the title. That's the minimum for me personally. And the thing is with this game on the weekend, he's got a brilliant opportunity as a Man United to really put a marker down. I know a lot of people are going into this game saying that Man United are going to get slapped. And I understand where they're coming from. As you were saying, with the Atlanta game, of course, that breeds confidence within the team. Of course it does. Because for the players, you look at the individual players, Ronaldo gets a goal. Obviously, Bruno had a good performance in the second half. Luke Shaw's not had a great season. He got that assist. Maguire, kind of culpable for the second goal, redeemed himself with a very integral goal. So them players will be going into this game with a bit of confidence that will be desperately needed because prior to that, it's been doom or gloom. Let's be real. In terms of the game itself, you know, you gotta play the game, not the occasion, and that's the one thing that I'm somewhat worried about. It is a cup final for us and for them. Liverpool need to win this game as well because they can't be sat 4 points off Chelsea come October as well. It's difficult for them. So it's a
will tactics really matter then? Do you think tactics will really matter then?
Tactics really matter. If we go in and play the way we played against Villarreal, Wolves, Leicester, I mean, I can name about 7 games. In the first half, I've been to about 5 games this season. Every first half, we've been battered. Like, you name me a game, and I can tell you. Against Southampton, we drew 1-1 because David De Gea pulled off the most outrageous double save. Yeah. Same with Wolves. David De Gea's been saving us, and he's not getting the credit. So, for me, Ollie has to get this spot on because this is so important for his job. I'm not saying he'll get sacked after this game, but it's so important for him to really build momentum. Because if we get a result against Liverpool, make no mistake about it, that could be the catalyst, without a shadow of a doubt.
But this is the thing, though. This is the thing, though, Usman. Like we talk about, like you just said, momentum. That kind of links to a confidence kind of thing as well. I want to see a philosophy where that because a philosophy helps you. A philosophy helps you to get wins, even if you're tired, even if your confidence is a bit down. If you have a plan, you know what's going to go on. You know what the drills are, what the rotations are in midfield, what runs this guy is supposed to do, what zone this guy is supposed to be in. You can play on kind of like a low energy kind of thing. So it's like that's what I want to see coming into this next game. So I want to go into what people think the teams will be. John, do you have like a team that you think? Yeah, do you have a team that you think Ole will actually go for? Not like what you want to see. What do you think Ole will do?
Well, we know, I think we know that it's a bit more easy to predict what Ollie will do because of his over-reliance on his star players. With that being said, we've seen him completely switch up his midfield option. I know Fred wasn't available when he played Pogba and Matic, and he obviously said, all right, screw that. I'm going to go back to my McFred situation. And whether you think that's the right move or wrong move, we know that's probably what he'll opt for. I just don't know how he's going to squeeze in Pogba. And I think that's where we're going to probably have the gamble situation here. So I'm going to go for a 4.
Go on, yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm going to go for a 4-2-3-1. I got David De Gea in goal. I think the back four is going to stay the same. Like you mentioned, Varane's still not available. So it's Luke Shaw on the left, Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the right with a central defensive partnership of Lindelof and Maguire. And
so no Bailly doesn't get tried because we've been shipping goals.
Look, I love Bailly, and I think we would need somebody like Bailly, especially against Liverpool. I would love for him to just absolutely crunch a tackle and just get up and walk away, and then like 5 Liverpool players come chasing after his back, and he just looks around like, what the fuck y'all looking at? You know what I mean? Like, I would love that. But that's
do some overhead kicks to clear the ball, just like simple.
Clear the ball and maybe, hit somebody by mistake, and he gets his hands up. He's like, whoa, I don't know what happened. Like, I would love the Bants aspect, but we cannot afford the Bants, and I know Ollie's definitely not going to afford the Bants. So I think he's going to probably go for Lindelof and Maguire. The midfield too, this is where I think it's a bit interesting. I'm actually thinking he's going to probably go for Fred and Pogba this time. I think he knows that I think he has to acknowledge the fact that Pogba, at the end of the day, liability or not, he's class. You saw what he did when he came off that bench. People were like, where the hell? But if you understand, Pogba is one of those situations where you don't really know where you can fit him in, which is the absolute enigma that is Paul Pogba. And the fact that however many managers has gone through him and can't figure out where the hell his best position is, like, it's a mind-boggling situation, but we can talk about that another time. I'm going to go for Fred and Pogba in that double pivot. I'm pretty sure Fred's going to be tucked in a little bit more deeper. The front three, I know it's going to be Rashford left, Bruno middle if he's available. And I want to go for Jadon on the right, and I think there definitely is a chance that Ollie's going to be like, all right, Jadon, he's going to pull him over to the side. He's going to be like, all right, Jadon, look, I know you haven't been scoring goals and whatnot, but this is Man United versus Liverpool. This is a great opportunity for you to be like, I'm fucking here to the Man United fans. So he could go for Jadon on the right too, but I think he's actually probably just going to do the same thing, and he's probably going to go for Greenwood on the right with CR7 up top.
Okay. People in the chat, just get in your thoughts as well. What teams, what players you think are going to play. That's an interesting team. I'm going to comment on it a bit later, but let's get into what Usman thinks then.
Yeah, you know what, John? I think you've nailed it, to be honest. Even with the thought process of Ollie, I think I probably agree with practically everything, probably word for word for what you said. Look, for me personally, in terms of defense, it blows my mind that Bayer hasn't got a game, because Lindelof is getting absolutely bullied. I mean, it's so annoying because he's such a good quarterback. Like, he's the definition of a football quarterback. Like, he's passing from deep as being top quality. Like, he's actually
remember those balls over the top for Rashford. Sorry, the balls over the top. Route one.
He's a proper asset to have in the team. In terms, I wish he was good defensively, because he would be so good for us. His ability to switch the attack, especially to Rashford, as you mentioned, but he can't defend.
But Osman, people have said try him centre defensive mid. Maybe.
I know, I've seen that, but not obviously not for this game. I mean, I'm a bit desperate, so I wouldn't mind to see him there. Just because obviously I know he's done it at Benfica and he was all right at CDM. But
is that true? That's the first time I heard that. He was a DM at Benfica for a while, but obviously got moved to centre back. So he is familiar with the role. I don't even want to entertain that conversation right now, because people are going to get onto me. But yeah, so regarding centre back role, I agree with John. I think Bailly should be playing. We need his pace. Maguire and Lindelof worries me with the pace that they've got thrown. Obviously, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Firmino in general, but his ability to play in that false nine. If you look at some of the games that we really struggle, it's against false nines and players that play in that sort of pocket in between the centre backs and the DMs, so to speak, that just keep drifting. Like, I know it's a bit of a random example, but Trossard, for me personally, just absolutely kills us every time he plays us. I know it's a complete random name out of the blue, but every time we play Brighton, for some reason, Trossard has about 6-7 shots. He keeps ghosting into that area, and we don't pick him up. It seems like the defender doesn't know if they should go and get him, or if the midfielder. So I think Firmino could be a real problem for us. Obviously, people haven't really mentioned him because he's not really firing all cylinders. Why can't we try that false nine? I just got to say, because it's just awesome how you see that centre forward draws out the centre backs, and then the two wingers turn into forwards, getting behind. It's like,
I mean, Bruno,
come on, we've got pace in behind.
Bruno would be the perfect false nine for us, I think, personally, for what we've got available. But regarding obviously what John said, I think Ollie's going to pick the team. John said Greenwood sadly will come in for Sancho. I think Sancho has to play this game because of the balance. Rashford, his ability to run in behind is second to none. Obviously, I'm sure we'll get onto the key battles a bit shortly, but Rashford for me has to play to stretch the play. I mean, that's a given. Or hopefully he's fully fit. Sancho, on the other hand, it just gives us balance. I don't want Greenwood to start this game. I just don't think he's going to be the guy on the counter attack to provide us with the quality we need. Don't get me wrong; he definitely can cause the problems, and he has already scored against Liverpool in the cup game last season.
So who are you going for then? Because you said
I would go Sancho, Ronaldo, Rashford for balance for me personally in the midfield.
And then what do you think Ole will do?
Ollie's definitely not playing Sancho, so it'd be Greenwood, Ronaldo, Rashford. And then in the midfield, I agree with John again. Has to be Pogba has to play this game. Fred and Pogba for me are our best double pivot currently available because Matic too slow for this game. Number 10 is interesting because if Bruno's injured, it has to be Donny for me, but it won't be. So Jesse Lingard maybe with his energy might be on the counter attack, might be a good shout as well. But I would love to see Donny in there. So obviously we don't know if Bruno's injured.
So they're saying Bruno's a doubt, yeah, but I can see them just.
I mean, they're
giving some painkillers. They're giving some kind of yeah. They'll give some painkillers and just put them out there.
This would be a good game for Donny though, because Donny is very press resistant, and obviously Liverpool press, Gegen press. Obviously the press impacts. Donny would be fantastic.
So Donny still gets on the bench, does he? Because
I mean, Donny's not in this game. It'll be Lingard if Bruno's injured and not really.
Yeah. We'd sooner enough see Lingard in midfield at centre defensive mid than Donny doing anything in there. Donny's just been exiled, man. It's a shame to see that. But I was gonna see what people are saying. People are getting in some of their pivots here. McTominay and Pogba. I'm not sure. I mean,
McTominay is a problem, man, because
he'd be fresh though.
No. But the issue with McTominay at the moment is he looks like a player who hasn't got any confidence. He keeps hiding from the ball. Like, obviously, I've been to a couple of the games and you can quite clearly see that he doesn't call for the ball. Like, that's the thing I love about Pogba. Okay, granted, people say he's a liability deficient or whatever, etc. You can say what, but the guy never goes in hiding. He always wants the ball. And that's something that's going to be really important. We need someone to get from A to B. If we're going to play quick transition football, McTominay's not that guy. Pogba has to play this game for me.
Okay. Batman Knight fan, thanks for getting in here. Sancho's got to play. So yeah, he's saying what you're saying, Usman, but it's like it's a question of whether Ole sees Sancho doing anything, because I see that Ole would do. He will want pacing behind. He will want a counter attack. I don't think Sancho's not the kind of player we've seen. He's not the pacing behind guy. He's the link up play guy. So I see us do counter attack. I see, maybe Greenwood gets put there. I'm going to go into my team. I've got to see what everyone else is saying. Thanks for getting in here. Yayo, 4 nasal. Greenwood's more effective on the right side. It depends what kind of team play you're doing. I mean, if it's counter attack and you just want someone to cut in and shoot, then Greenwood's good. But if you want to build up play, you have a Sancho over Greenwood. Aviation connoisseur, over the hair, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, for sure, Tomlin. Yeah, so he's playing McFred, Bruno Rashi. That's like that's the normal team we've been playing a lot of the season, isn't it?
That's the exact lineup from the last game.
That's the lineup he's gonna go for realistically.
Probably.
I mean, if we do that though, I just see us having one of those first halves where it's like we're not at the races again. We can't do that against them.
We could be outside though. They could quite easily be 3-0 up. And as Paul Scholes said on BT, if you're 3-0 down to them, you're not coming back. So obviously that play against Atlanta, Liverpool aren't no pushover team. They're not gonna allow us to get back into the game. So we got to be careful. This first half is really important for us.
You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get to my team now because I don't think we can do the 4-2-3-1, and then risk that kind of first half garbage happening again, I'm thinking, you guys remember when we played PSG, was it last season? Played them away. You played 3-5-2, Usman. I reckon we start off though with it being 5. We're going to defend a lot, and then on the counter attack we change it to 3-5-2. So I've gone 5-3-2, De Gea in goal, obviously. Wan-Bissaka trusted that right wing back again. The 3 centre backs, Lindelof, Maguire, and Shaw. Bailly, I think Bailly's being treated like Van der Beek as well right now. He's just being exiled. Tellez is gonna come in because we've seen, he actually should come and get in a bit more time, because remember that goal he scored, that awesome goal. He should be rewarded with some kind of start. So those 5 at the back. Matic holding. Pogba and Bruno controlling the midfield and attack. And then the 2 forwards, Rashford on the left or Ronaldo. So, I mean, people may not agree, but remember when, what was it? We did play. I don't know. I think it was Ole played it. Was it last season where we had a 5-3-2 against Liverpool? We had Shaw at left centre back. I don't know if Ole did that last season. I'm not sure. People get that in the comments, but that's what I see happening. I see that we can't afford to have a 4-2-3-1 and have a diabolical first half. Because like Usman brought up, and I don't know where he's gone right now. He may come back into the stream. Yeah, he's coming back in now. Hold on, I don't know. Usman, you good? What happened? Was it?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, my internet. Like I'm saying, too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just saying, we can't afford to have what you, because you mentioned Scholes saying, yeah. I mean, you don't have to be a smart guy to see if we do that against a better team. Liverpool's a better team than Atlanta.
Of course.
If you start slow against a team that's especially an unbeaten team, so their confidence is through the roof. We've got Messi, Salah doing whatever he wants on that right wing. So it's like you can't afford to be doing that kind of formation, which has led to you having bad first halves. I see 5 at the back, 5-3-2, and then when we get confidence, we'll go to 3-5-2 and hit them on a counter-attack kind of thing. So yeah, that's what is going to happen. We've not done score predictions. John, what do you think for the score then with your team?
Do I go for the optimistic fan till I die prediction, or am I going for the real talk prediction?
You can have 2 predictions. You can say your optimistic one and then your realistic one if you want to have that.
Optimistic one. We're fucking scoring 4 goals on these motherfuckers. We get 4-0. You know what I mean?
Okay.
No.
I'm about to take John. I'm taking John off the stream. Okay. Come on.
Mate, if it comes to you need to apologize on stream to John. John, keep going, mate.
I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I think that's probably the safest option in terms of prediction. And I think that's probably what, Vibes FC, I'm here for it. If we somehow get Jadon Sancho on and we get Ayer Bailly on, we out there fucking trolling them at Old Trafford, I'd love it. You know what I mean? But right. I think from a realistic sort of like a much more a grounded perspective, I'm probably thinking Liverpool going to come out guns blazing. They're not going to be afraid to hit us, and we have to be able to respond. I don't know if we're going to be able to keep a clean sheet, so I think 2-2.
But do you think though, John, on the off chance Liverpool might be scared of the counter attack? Because that's the only time on this team looks really good for sure is on the counter attack. Is there any worry about that?
Look, I actually saw a comment. I forgot who it was up top. I think it was Peter Coveney. He said we need Rashford to run in behind. No one else does it, and I think that's been the sad state of affairs of Manchester United in terms of the lack of dimensionality. I don't know if that's even a word, but dimension in attack. There you go. Rashford is the only player at Manchester United who's looking to make those runs behind the channels, those breaking runs. As soon as he sees a player from Manchester United that's going to take a touch and look up forward, he's already making the run. He makes those runs 10 out of 10 times, and only one connects, and only one even is like delivered. So I think in terms of the counterattacking aspect of things, we don't have the fluidity on the transition, especially in that middle third, to be able to connect quickly. I went to watch.
John, we've seen Lindelof do that ball over the top and get.
But I mean, look. Lindelof is great, right? And the ball over the top, Lindelof has that ball. Pogba has that ball. Them 40-yarders over the top, he has that. What you call it? Route 1, they have it. But if you're Liverpool, you're not going to just let them play that. You know what I mean? You're not fucking dickheads letting the ball come over the top. Like, oh, shit, that's a nice ball. That's not happening. Man. No, that's not happening. I'm just trying to keep it. Well, I'm just trying to keep it real. That's not happening. That ball's not just. They're not going to just watch it, right? And especially with the quality that they have, they're going to have an answer for it. Is what I'm saying is that it's going to be even more difficult to execute those kinds of plays. Hence is the reason why you need to add multi-dimensional layers to your attacking approach. Counter-attacking is great. Don't get me wrong. But when I watched Manchester United play Young Boys when they were at the Wankdorf Stadion, I was there at the grounds and I was watching the abysmal state of affairs when it came to Manchester United's trying to build up play from the back on a counterattack. There's no sense of urgency when it comes to turning the play quickly, right? And the only option that we have is the long ball, right? Liverpool, we've seen time and time and again, they can add fluidity to their counterattacking approach. I've seen Liverpool go from the goalkeeper to either Trent or to Andy Robertson, and it pings all the way across to Sadio Mane or Firmino or something, and they take one touchdown, the second touch goes to the striker, and it's done. You know what I mean? Like, they're counterattacking. They can play that way, or they can go through the middle. Like it's just there's layers to it that I don't think Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer have right now, and I think that's also in turn due to the fact that we lack a bit of the balance. But nonetheless, I just don't think the counterattacking is going to be that easy against Liverpool. I know. If y'all know me, if y'all tuning in, you guys know I'm an optimist. I would always love for Manchester United to slap anybody, but it's just not going to be that easy.
There's optimists in here. Vincent Bullock saying 4-1 to United. I don't.
Come on, Vincent. We love it.
Osman, we're gonna get to your prediction there. So I was on your stream last night though. I don't know if I heard the optimism that I'm hearing now.
Oh no, you didn't see my score prediction. It's on video. Don't worry, man. I can't delete it now.
Okay,
don't worry. I got you. John gassed me up. I'm not gonna lie.
Let me just say what some of the people are saying. Then Arctic, that 6-2 Liverpool. What is that? That is blasphemy. That's not going to happen at the Old Trafford in front of the Stratford End.
Like, you didn't see my face for a while.
Dude, that can't happen. It can't happen. It's blasphemy. Like I said, that can't happen.
But if I could play devil's advocate here, I know 6-2 is an insane, blasphemous result, but
insane.
There is that kind of pressure that's currently mounted on Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So if the players aren't up for it, which honestly I think this is why this game is going to be the biggest test of Ole's career at Manchester United. If the players aren't up for it, they're going to capitulate.
They're going to be up for it though. We just did a comeback from 2-0 down.
When they hear that old
I'm here for it. I'm 100%. I'm here for it. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate for the stream and for the show. If that happens, then it's going to be a very, very difficult way to climb back, and then we're just going to start capitulating. I know that's not going to happen, but I can understand to some extent why somebody would say it. I don't agree with it. I think that's crazy, but I'm just trying to put some. I'm just trying to paint a bit of a picture on the stream.
Okay, let me just go through a few more of the people's comments before I get to Usman. Thanks for getting in here, Megadeth Bangkok. It's got 1-1 written on it. Okay, Ronaldo. I don't want to see penalties, man. I want to see goals, man. Batman Night fan, thanks for getting in here. 2-1 United. I'm hoping. See, I think people are going to be hoping. We're going to be Batman, but it's a hope though. It's not confidence. I want to see like confidence. G Wolf saying 3-2 to United. Okay, I want to see goals though. Peter Convey, thanks for getting in here, mate. 1-1 as well. Usman, okay. So yeah, I'm sure I heard. Yeah, you say no. I might have not heard, but I thought I heard a draw from you on your stream.
No. I said with chest that we're winning 2-1. We're winning 2-1. I'm saying.
Was it Jerry? What was Jerry saying? Jerry said 3-2, didn't he?
You probably thought we were gonna lose. To be fair, he was about crown stream, boys.
Oh, sorry. I'm misquoting you, bro. I think it was Alice that said the draw. Alice said 2-2, innit?
Yeah, someone said a draw. I think Alice said 2-2.
Yeah.
Look,
that
for
was
me personally, right? Marcus Rashford is the key for us to win this game. And I know, obviously, John, you explained, you basically elaborated on the fact that they're not going to allow us to play that one ball. Of course they're not. I look at that Atletico Madrid game, and Liverpool defensively were shambolic. Against Brentford, shambolic. So their defense isn't as good as people make out to be. Obviously, it's the same back four that won the league. We know that, etc.
You're saying Van Dijk's a fraud?
I'm not saying that, but they keep reminding us that all their players are world class and the rest of it. But I haven't seen that this season. I've seen a couple of decent performances. I think Matip's been their best player, to be fair, defensively for me. But the point is, Van Dijk doesn't look the guy he was last season at the moment. He still looks like he's a bit behind pace. Marcus Rashford in behind Van Dijk and Trent is going to be a problem for them because for starters, Trent is very high up the pitch. He's not going to have the recovery pace to get up to Rashford. I don't think their midfielders cover themselves with any much glory of late. They have got a few injuries there, obviously Fabinho's top quality. But the other players, Henderson, Milner, Keita, they've all been found wanting. Keita got hooked off at half time because he was shambolic defensively. I mean, Milner wasn't great. Henderson's not been great. Fabinho's obviously quality, we know that. But they're not really actually playing with that much form, the midfielders. So for me, I think if we can get Rashford running in behind to stretch the play, not only is that going to give us one dimension, obviously, as John said, but it also creates space for the likes of Bruno Fernandes in the pocket. And their midfield isn't doing well. We need Bruno Fernandes to please, I beg, stay in the number 10 and play like Ozil. Just get the ball and pull the strings, because he seems to drift too much, which makes us lopsided, and also it kind of doesn't allow us to sustain attacks. So we need him in his position so the ball can go from back to front. And obviously, Rashford stretching the play allows Bruno Fernandes to get more space. We know Bruno Fernandes, with space on the ball, he can be dangerous. I know people say he's not done it in a big game, so to speak.
So do you think Ole is chatting to Bruno, saying, "Okay, I want some more discipline, lad. Okay,
he needs
come back, help
He definitely needs discipline in his positioning in this game. If he starts getting carried away and pressing on his ones, we're going to get battered. We're going to get up. That 6-2 might not be far off. He needs to stay in a position that's going to help us defensively. And on the ball, he needs to stay in the corridor uncertainty, behind the midfield, in front of the centre-backs. And that's where it's going to be dangerous. Getting that ball on the turn, playing the ball through to Ronaldo and Rashford, running off the defender. So for me, we can definitely beat them. We got to play to our strengths. Obviously, we know what Liverpool have got going forward. Salah, as you mentioned, he's unbelievable form at the moment. But the rest of the team isn't actually as good as people are making out to be as it currently stands. They kind of get carried, in my personal opinion. So for that reason, Marcus Rashford, man of the match, 2-1, Manchester United. I've said it with chest. Come on, lads. Come on.
Okay.
Let's flipping go. Big game.
I hope
be up for it.
I hope that can happen, man. I hope that we're, because why are you thinking that we win like that? Then is it going to be on pure confidence, or tactics going to be we're going to be right?
Because the games I've seen of Liverpool, right, when they're up against a potent attack, they've struggled. The defense has struggled. Trent, defensively, hasn't been brilliant. Robertson this season hasn't been brilliant. Like I said, Matip's been their best defender. Van Dijk's had good moments, don't get me wrong. But against Griezmann, who's not the most, he's not the quickest, he got absolutely violated by Griezmann. And obviously, João Felix as well, in that pocket where I'm hoping Bruno can play a similar role to what João Felix did against them. We could quite easily cause them problems. I mean, if it wasn't for the red card, they would have lost that game probably. They were 6 and 7s. The defense was all over the shop.
All right, then. I hear that. Zayn Miasi, thanks for the super sticker, $8.99. He tends to get in here quite a bit with super stickers. I can't see which one it is on my screen, though. Can you guys see what kind of super sticker it is? It's usually like a laughing emoji or something, which is weird. I don't know how you can say anything to Man U fans. I think it's Arsenal playing tonight, aren't they, against Villa?
Was he an Arsenal fan?
Yeah, it's awesome. If you've not seen the infamous Zayn Miasi, he's in all the Man United streams, and he's always saying, "Oh, we're gonna get Messi, and we're gonna get all these guys to Arsenal next season, and we're gonna get a takeover." It's like,
listen, you got to rate it, don't you? He's dedicated, but unlike you saying your team isn't dedicated, you're sat in 13th. Stay in your lane, my brother. But we appreciate the super chat. I really love to see it.
Usman, did you see how these guys were celebrating against the Palace, getting the
celebrating
for the league?
I think he celebrated more than Oli did in '99. I'm not gonna lie. Bad bullies, that all or nothing is going to be world class, man. I can't wait for that.
What, they're still doing that? Oh, I'm going to be watching that.
It's Arsenal season, isn't it, this season? So it should be good.
That's going to be jokes, man. Especially because we're going to see the behind the scenes, and we're going to see like. I mean, I don't want to turn this into an Arsenal stream, but we're going to see.
We're veering off topic massively. Yeah,
we're going to see Arteta trying to do them pep signals like behind the scenes and do all this stuff. Like, it's not working. Like, not working. You guys are mid-table still.
Listen, but Arteta aside, Oli masterclass, please, my guy. Listen, please, just please do it against Liverpool. That's all I ask for. I can't stand them, so it'd be a great moment for Oli and the players and the fans, of course. Hopefully.
Okay. People keep getting in the chat. Thanks for getting in, everyone. Big God Bob, thanks for getting in here. Jacques, I think it's just Jack in it. Rashford is such a great lad. Total gent. He would be fantastic skipper for Liverpool after what? Rashford is such a great lad. Total gent. He would be a skipper for Liverpool. Just forget that. Shall we just forget that? That we didn't even see that.
Oh my God, Eddie's reading it with so much happiness as well.
All right,
dude. I'm just shocked, man. I'm
Can
shocked.
someone please clip it? That's 58th minute, please. Thank you very much.
That was weird.
hilarious.
I was meant to like be picking up people's predictions. I went to that one by mistake, but that was mad. 4-0 Villa. Oh, okay. Okay. Predicting against Arsenal. 4-0 Villa win. Okay. Well, yeah, my score prediction. I think in a draw, man. I'm thinking it'll be. I think we'll get some goals. I think it'll be 2-2. I don't think you guys even said your scorers as well.
I said,
he said 2. He said 2-1, and I said 2-2.
well, Salah for them, definitely. I mean, that's a no-brainer, isn't it? I'm gonna say Marcus Rashford. Go on, Ronaldo winner. Why not? Let's go full romance. Ronaldo winner. Put the strap to the head.
Viva Ronaldo!
Mate, if he scores a winner, I'll tell you that stadium. Oh my God, it's gonna be rocky.
He didn't even do the Sue last time. He did the knee slide.
Yeah,
I wanted to see the
man was
Sue.
just gas, man.
He was too tired. He wanted to take a seat.
Legit, man.
So he tried to jump, but then he just fell into the knee slide. That's what he's saying, John. Like his legs just went.
Right.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, 2-2. I reckon Mo Salah is inevitable, man. I reckon you might even get both the goals. No. Mane will get one because this guy's hungry as well. First African. I forgot what the record is. He's one of these Africans to get 100. Yeah, first African to get 100 goals without penalties or something like that.
I was about to say because Salah just got 100 before him, didn't he? So
yeah.
But
So
he takes depends, obviously.
They're doing the African thing, man. I'm proud of them as a fellow African. I mean, I was born in England, but you know, my heritage is Nigerian. So big up to the Africans representing.
The
That's
best
what's
kit in
going on.
Africa, you know that.
Yeah, they come up with some bad kits, isn't it?
Hundreds. Every
It's
time.
just a pity about some of the football at the World Cup, you know, but whatever. So I've kind of lost my train of thought. Yeah, so yeah, I was saying, yeah, Salah and Mane get a goal, and then I reckon Rashford and Ronaldo. That's what I'm predicting in terms of goals. John, I don't think you said specific. Did you say specific scorers though?
No, I did not, and I was just thinking about it now. Look, I predicted a 1-0 victory for England in the Euros final, and I said that Luke Shaw was going to score. I know England lost.
No
but
way.
Wow,
I did, and Luke Shaw scored. Yeah, so I'm fingers crossed. My prediction game is still on point. I think
bet money.
I was about to say, if that came through and you didn't put money on it, that would have haunted you for a long time.
I think I want to see Ronaldo get on the goal sheet, but I think it'll probably be fuck. I'm gonna go Rashford I'm gonna go Rashford. I know I said it was gonna be difficult for him to get on a goal sheet, but I think he's gonna score, and I'm gonna go for another wild pick here. I'm gonna go for an Aaron Wan-Bissaka goal. Yeah,
Wow,
let's go.
Where's that come from?
Let's go.
He's played all right, to be fair, lately. I don't think he's getting the credit.
The Congolese legend. Let's go.
Yes.
Yeah, Usman, I like you bigging up Wan-Bissaka, but I'm a big fan of him too. But like sometimes at right back, all I can see is the slide tackle. It's like he's Booker T from remember from wrestling. When he's tackling, he's doing the spinneroonie. Every time he tackles, it's spinneroonie. I mean, he can't stay on his feet, but he's good. He's good, but I don't know if he's going to get a goal.
Now, look, obviously, I'm not sitting here and saying he's setting the world alive, but I can see he's improving. Small baby step. I think in the last game that we played against, obviously Atlanta, there was moments that he was picking the ball up from deep, driving at defender, running past a couple of people. He was overlapping more. I mean, the cross was shit. I'm not gonna lie. Hit the first player, they came back to him, and then hit the first player again. So not ideal. So that definitely needs to improve. But nevertheless, we need Wan-Bissaka to offer more going forward, just for the balance of the team, man. To be honest, but
first class is saying he never attacks. I mean, I don't think it's not never. He does attack sometimes, but
I mean, he does, but you don't notice it because it's not brilliant. So
yeah, I mean, it's like what I said before. They don't create enough space for him to go down that right and just give a simple ball to him and let him just cross it. They expect him to sometimes beat him, man, but he's not a dribbler. That's the thing. Yeah. Everyone that's still in here, thanks for watching the fan panel. This kind of thing, Flying Pig's going to be having this sometimes when he's a bit too tired to do the preview. You'll see people like myself, John Shin, and Usman. So please keep hitting the like, keep subscribing if you're new. So I think we've covered quite a lot of things right now. I'm hoping we get the win, like Usman's saying and like John Shin saying, but I can't see it. guys, getting your okay. I'm gonna say getting questions. Jacques was mad on that last one when he was saying Rashford could be captain for Liverpool. I don't know. I don't know if I should read his next one, but his next one actually seems alright. His next question: Would you rather have Maguire or? That's an easy question, dude. I know. It's like
obviously
okay.
Maguire. Come on, he's got more goals than England. Come on.
Yeah, that's it. So I like the positivity. You put it nice. That was a nice.
Let's go, boys. Come on, Maguire. Another one on the weekend, lads.
John, what do you think, mate?
I mean, do you want me to read that question? I mean, I've said, it's been a while since I've been on Joe's channel, but my goodness, what's with the trollolols, man? Come on now, y'all gotta give us with something to work with.
I mean, the previous one was whack, there with it. I mean, Rashford never gonna go to Liverpool, but this
I saw your face. You were reading that thing like, oh man, this is a great comment, and then it turned left so damn hard. And you're like, what the fuck was that?
That's true. Okay, we'll go to the next one though. Oh, okay, no, Jacques, I think we're not going to come to you again, mate. You're moving mad. No, I'm not reading the next one, mate. That is no. All right, people, get in your questions. Yeah, we're going to be on for a bit longer. So yeah, just getting any questions that you want to have us talk about. Even first class gamers getting in here with this Maguire VBD for what? Okay, he's laughing. Yeah, I mean. We could. There's things going on with the United legends. I want to talk about this then. Actually, people getting your questions, but I want to talk about people like Paul Scholes, Rio Ferdinand, Gary Neville. These guys, we see them in the media, right? We see that they're legends, so they have a big amount of clout where they influence certain parts of the fan base. I mean, what would you guys think to Rio Ferdinand being like, he thinks Ole is almost the second coming in terms of being the manager that's going to take us forward. And then we see Scholes. He's actually coming on to that level where he's being critical of us starting really bad in the first half. And then we've got Neville who can't talk any grease about his friend Ole. You can't even talk about his job security or anything like that. So, yeah, Usman, what are your thoughts on that kind of thing? Do you think, if you had a friend that's a manager at a club, are you being honest in the media? It's a hard one, isn't it? Because the pressure's not here right now. But it's like,
obviously,
go on.
I was gonna say, obviously, I'm not gonna throw my boy under the bus in it. Firstly, do you know what I mean? On live TV, so I understand Gary Neville's perspective on that. But why has he been put in a position that he has to continue to talk about it if they know his position privately, which is he's not going to be overly critical? I mean, he just comes across deluded, to be quite frankly honest with you, because
I mean that's the thing. People want a Sky Sports pundit to be objective. That's what they want.
He's not objective at all. He's literally openly admitted it. I will never criticize Ollie. Like, I mean, what's the actual point of him being there? Because at the end of the day, I'm not saying you should sit down and say Ollie out or just blindly criticize him. But he literally never labels. He labels loads of things, and then he never says, "Oh, it's the manager's fault." Or it's Ollie's fault. Ollie needs to fix X, Y, and Z. But when it's the players, it's on their neck straight away. When it's Pogba, he's on his neck straight away. So for me, he needs to put his personal gripes with players to the side and also just be objective. Look at the Harry Kane scenario. It's exactly the same. He's been unbelievably biased. You don't want to criticize Kane. Kane is literally pulled a sickie at work and said, I'm not coming into training. But apparently he's still a model professional, according to Gary Neville, because they went and played golf together. I mean, that is embarrassing. I understand that's mad. Your boy, but I understand that's your boy, but he's quite clearly in the wrong. You are allowed to criticize him as well. Otherwise, you can't do the job. So regarding Gary Neville, I'm not even listening to anything that comes out of his mouth regarding Ollie. Coming on to Rio Ferdinand, he's kind of in between the two. He does criticize Ollie to an extent, but at the same time, he thinks we can still win the league, which just blows my mind. Like, he sat there rubbing his hands. Ollie's at the wheel. We're going to win X, Y, and Z. And look, obviously, it's good to see them being positive, etc. But you got to be a realist at the same time. Ollie's quite clearly under pressure. And I think it's a bit damning when we got opposite rival teams, pundits, like the Carragers of the world, the Michael Richards of the world, who are the ones speaking sense on our situation. I feel like that's quite embarrassing, to be honest. You got rival fans speaking more sense on your own team And look, like Carragher,
I mean, I guess it's easier for them because they don't have the connections that we've discussed. They don't have the loyalties, all that stuff.
That's the problem in itself, though, because they're not pulling any punches. Like you said, they got no qualms and like upsetting someone, so to speak, because obviously they got no strings attached. So I do understand that, but at the same time, you can't be in that job and then be objective. Like, you can't be in that job and then be biased towards Man United.
Yeah.
And protect the manager when he's quite clean and wrong. We got slapped 4-2 at home against Leicester. You got to call out the manager. He got it tactically wrong, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think Oli will get overly defensive. And on the flip side, Paul Scholes, I feel like I did agree with a lot of what Paul Scholes said, but at the same time, I don't know if he's coming from a genuine place now, because I feel like it's almost a bit forced, because he's kind of done a 180. Like, normally he's quite, I mean, I don't want to use the word boring, but he comes across that he doesn't really, like, he's not animated or anything. He's just got no personality.
He's come across, what I've seen is that he's come across a bit biased as well, trying to maybe put the focus on the players. Because I remember when we lost the Villarreal game in the Europa final, when we lost that game, he was saying, "Oh, maybe the players look like they're not really emotionally caring about the loss." He was talking about everything else apart from the actual football. He's talking about things that are just open to interpretation, which you can't even see. But I think Usman, he's reached the tipping point. I think he's seen.
I think he's had enough. To be honest.
That's what I think it is. I think it's genuine, man. I think it's just like he's reached a point where it's like, okay, I can't keep protecting Ole. I've got to be critical. So I hope that's genuine, man. Because what he said, I agreed with what you're saying. You can't keep doing the first half debacle and coming back. Against Liverpool, it's likely we're getting smoked.
It's not going to happen, bro. Like, the first good team we played this season, I mean, it was Leicester City. Like, apart from them, the only other good team on paper you could really say is West Ham United. Apart from that, we've not really played anyone of note that you can think, oh, Man United should really struggle. And I suppose you shouldn't be struggling against West Ham either. So, that was our first real obstacle. And it was the biggest car crash. Like, without De Gea, it could have been 6-2, like, quite comfortably.
That's true, man. He's been a great player, man. But sorry, Usman. I just gotta get to John Shin a bit because we got more questions coming in. So I just want to have people's questions be involved as well. John Shin, what do you think? What effect will Liverpool midfield have on this game? How will Liverpool midfielders play in this game to shut down our midfield?
What effect will Liverpool's midfield have on this game, and how will they play a game? I think the answer to, in terms of personnel, I'm not too focused on it. You know, Case Later, he's a big. I call people on my channel the Thick Leg Fam. You know, that's our crew name, and he's a huge Thick Leg Fam. So shout out to you, Case Later. With respect to your question,
fam,
we call ourselves the Thick Leg Fam. You know what I'm saying? Thick legs. You know what I'm saying? No.
Okay.
Thick legs.
Yeah, it goes a long way back. So it's got to take a while.
Thick skin kind of thing. Is that what?
No. Thick leg. I'm talking if your thighs is wham, that's a thick leg. You know
I'm part of the crew then, John.
There you go, Thick Leg Fam. That's what I'm talking about. But to answer Case Later question, I don't think it's more about personnel. I think it's more about the formation and the strategy behind the form of play. So before, I was actually talking about the whole Young Boys situation when I was at the Wankdorf Stadion. I saw the Young Boys midfield absolutely dismantle Manchester United in midfield. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know a single player in the Young Boys side except the fact that their team is Young Boys and they play in a stadium called the Wankdorf Stadion. That's all I know. But for some reason, they looked at times when their fans were getting on their feet, they looked at times world class, absolutely dismantling. And this is back to what Usman was saying, and we were talking about before about the space.
John, sorry, are you spelling the thick like that, like thick, like sexy thick?
Yes, exactly, 100%.
Nice.
You know,
he's still part of that crew, Usman. Yeah, sexy thick, isn't it?
Well, if we're on the football pitch, that's if we're on the football pitch and your legs looking wham, that's a thick, sexy leg. You know what I mean? You know, so we'll keep it that way. But going back to the point about the Young Boys, I don't know any single player in that Young Boys side, but some reason they were able to dismantle us because of the space that we were leaving behind. And that's all partly down to Bruno obviously being given the free role to just run around and absolutely press and do whatever he likes. But also at the same time, that's on Ole to organize that. And Young Boys, they were outnumbering us in midfield. It was very simple. 1-2 passes, 3v3, 2v3 situations. It was so simple. We had no answer to it. I was sitting there in Switzerland screaming at the top of my lungs because we looked like we were getting played out the park by Busquets, Xavi, and Iniesta. And
what was the stadium again?
The Wankdorf Stadion. You know what I mean? You know, that's what I'm saying.
I don't get tired of hearing that.
I flew to Europe. I flew on a 8-hour flight to watch that. You know what I mean? So it was difficult to watch. And I think, like I said, like you said before, Eddie, you know, they have class players. You know, some people think Milner's old, but he still has that in his game. You know, Keita is also a player that I feel like is just kind of a bit underrated at times. Fabinho, another class player. They have a decent midfield. I'm not going to say they have a world-class midfield, but they have a strong midfield. If we're looking at it on a personnel level, I think they have a stronger midfield than us at times in terms of organization. And like I said before, balance. And I just kind of worried more so about the shape of it all. You know, I think Ousmane hit it on the nail. He hit the nail on the head before. We need Bruno to just chill out and stay a little bit more. I'm not going to use the word disciplined, but I need him to be a wee bit more reserved in terms of the spaces he's occupying, just simply because we need to hold a shape. Without him holding that shape and that spine, I think the players around him get a little bit lost.
Yeah, John, you just reminded me to actually look through the Liverpool team from that last Premier League game. So against Watford, their three-man midfield was, Milner, as you were discussing there, Henderson and Keita, as you mentioned as well. Do you think, you know, they're going to, you know, keep Bruno quiet then? Those three.
It's not about their jobs. I think is very simple. It's not to try and you know, take one touch and, you know, outside foot bend it 45 yards. Their job is to keep it simple in midfield and make sure it's locked down tight, so that if Manchester United are going to start overloading in midfield, they know how to organize themselves, whether they ask for support or Henderson in midfield is such. Look, you know, I know Manchester United fans are going to be like, John, you plastic, whatever. Henderson is a class player. And the reason why I think he's a class player is because he has the ability to organize that side from top down. And that comes down to leadership and his ability to understand football. And he knows how to organize that team around him, especially, and you have somebody like Milner next to him. I know Milner is not the fastest player. I know he's not the best player ever, but he has the quality to play alongside that. And like I said, the balance is there. And that's what makes that midfield dangerous, because they allow the rest of them to play their game. They allow the likes of Trent. They allow the likes of Andy Robertson to get up forward. They allow the likes of Mane, Salah, Firmino to go play the game that they need to play. If that midfield is not strong enough, if it's not organized, the entire crux, it's anatomy. If you're walking down the street and your fucking back snaps, you're on the ground like this. You know what I mean? It's the same thing.
Everything's connected. Thing. Everything is symbiotic. There's relationships that have to happen.
What a word!
Damn.
Yeah, man. I went to university, man. Thank you.
Let's go.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. All right. So Osman, I mean, the thing is, this game is going to be massive, as we've been saying. But is there, because we know where you're at with Ollie, it's out now, isn't it? But is there any kind of thing that will bring you back on side? Is there anything that you think? Not from your point of view, but do you think Ollie will do anything in his point of view that will bring you on side? So it doesn't have to be what you're thinking. It could be something that just gets the team playing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. I mean, for me personally, look, I heard a lot of people saying he needs to go back to basic. And I mean, I understand that to an extent, but at the same time, he needs to just find out what his best 11 is. He keeps chopping and changing the team every couple of games. I mean, you're starting to see a bit more familiarity with his team selection, so that's important. However, he needs to pick the right players for each game. I feel like, and I've said this as a criticism for Ollie a lot, he doesn't seem to pick the players to flourish in certain games. And Dan James is the most perfect example of this that I will ever come with. Dan James, right? He'd pick him against Burnley when Dan James needs space to run into. But in actual fact, Dan James needs to be picked against a team where the game is open, he can stretch his legs, he can run into space, etc., etc. And this is the issue with Ollie, and this is the thing he needs to learn from me. Pick your players to flourish. He keeps picking them and putting them in scenarios where they're not going to succeed. And I think that is the concern for me throughout the game. You play McFred in a game where we're trying to break down a low block. I mean, in this game, McFred might actually do a good job because obviously the energy that we needed in the middle of the park. So I don't mind if he picks them, but he needs to just be a bit more streetwise. Like, he seems to be making the same mistakes. And
Because I was gonna
John
say, like, picking
Yeah,
the right team, isn't that just the surface element of a manager? Because you have
I
to
mean,
you have to you have to work with the engineering of the positional
no,
kind of things and all
absolutely, of
that.
course. I mean, look, you may think it's a surface thing, but look at Ole Gunnar not Ole, oh God, look at Sir Alex Ferguson, the way he used Park Ji-sung. And I know people keep using Park Ji-sung as a perfect example, but there isn't a better example than Park Ji-sung, because if you look at the way he was utilized, he didn't play week in, week out. Fergie picked his battles with Park and played him to absolute perfection to get the best out of that individual. He didn't put him in scenarios where he wouldn't flourish. He put him into games where Park would be absolutely sensational. And I know it seems like, oh, it's such an obvious thing, play your best players, of course. But sometimes McFred is actually a good option. Like when we played Man City, when we played PSG, is Pogba the best option when we played PSG away, where we're probably going to have to be under a lot of pressure? Probably not. Maybe you need to go a bit more reserved and play on the break. So he needs to use his head, because I feel like at the moment, he doesn't know what he's doing with the team selection. He just picks his favourites and hopes that it works. He picks the same players consistently for different games. Each game is a different scenario. If you're playing Burnley, McFred shouldn't be starting. If you're playing Man City, McFred probably should be starting. So that's the point with Oli. I just don't think he knows what he's doing. Like, it's almost like he's drawing names out of a hat from his favourites. Oh, these lot will play this week because I feel like I like them. So he needs to really analyse the opposition. I've not seen it, Oli, go into a game and really outplay the manager. Like, obviously it's happened, don't get me wrong, but tactically outplay the manager. You think, okay, he's done his homework, and he needs to do that for me, especially in a game against Liverpool. This could be catastrophic. It really could if he gets it wrong. It's not going to be like against Wolves. We're not going to get away with it. This could be 4-0 at half time.
It's going to be what Scholes is saying. We can't get away with it against better teams. Atlanta, they're not Liverpool, so definitely. Big gob, shout out to you, Eddie, bringing out Russell Brand vocabulary. Yeah, man. Educated, man. Educated. University, man. I got a master's. Yeah, man.
Jeez,
bringing out the vocab. Thank you. Another guy. I'll take a bow. But it's going to be a very interesting game. I think we're getting towards the end of the stream now, actually. Everyone, please get in your likes. You're going to see more shows like this where people like me, I said it already, people like John Shin, Usman will be getting on, and we're going to be doing these kind of shows, but whether it would be a preview or reacting to certain results. So please hit the like and subscribe. Gongxi's getting in here with a super chat. Thanks for getting in here. Gongxi, one of the legendary mods. Guys, apparently Fred could be out with a hamstring injury, according to G Wolf. Also, Ole got dominated by Young Boys. You might say he got wanked off. So okay.
Wow.
Are you ready out as well?
Oh man,
you're part of it today.
Yeah, man. Hey, I mean, this is like, was it an unadulterated stream? We're allowed to say words like, I mean, John, she's been swearing all stream. I mean, come on.
Hands up.
he just came out of the party with the potty mouth. You know what I mean?
Sorry,
I blame John. He's a bad influence on the chat.
It's me. Hey, but hey, if the super chat's gonna keep coming, yo, I swear all day. You know what I mean? Keep them coming.
That's it.
100, love that.
Okay. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up then. John, where can people find you, mate?
You guys can come find me anywhere. I'm literally all over the place. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, you name it, I'm there. You guys can come check out the Thick Leg Fam. We chat a lot of shit, but we have a great time on our streams. Sometimes I actually stream live commentary for the game. Sometimes I stream the review. Sometimes I just upload lots of fun stuff. Obviously, Case later in the chat, he'll let you know. It's a fun time. So you guys can come check me out on my channel. I'm sure Mr. Flying Pig and the fam will leave a link in the description. You guys can come find me on Twitter at Mr. John Shin. We're having a good time. Come join us. Thick Leg Fam. You know how it is.
Nice. Yeah, see, I told you, Gongxi's saying, yeah, John Shin.
Hey, Gongxi, you're a legend, my man. If you're thick leg or thin leg, if you want to join up, join up because you've been an absolute legend this stream. Nice.
Big up Gongxi again. Thanks again, mate. Usman, man like Usman. Tell people where they can find you again, mate.
Yeah, man. Listen, obviously, always a pleasure. Make sure, obviously, you slap a like and subscribe to the guy himself, Flying Pig, first and foremost. Regarding myself, you can find me on all socials, in particular Twitter, Usman Talks United, obviously on YouTube as well. I believe we've got a show tonight as well, which is basically previewing the weekend results. On the Sunday itself, watch along as always, and of course the match reaction. So make sure you come through Usman Talks United on both socials. Show love to everyone here, man. It's completely free. Spread the love, and hopefully Man United 3 points on the weekend. Come on.
Nice,
Come on.
nice. I mean, Usman, you just took my sign off there, man.
Sorry, I apologize. Ignore that bit.
I'm supposed to say sign up to Flying Pig and subscribe. I was supposed to say
sorry,
positive
sorry,
stuff.
Nah,
Jake.
But you see, but Usman right there, that was fantastic. I just as soon as you gave me the floor, I was like, me, and Usman was like, nah, wait, stop. Let's show love to Joe.
That's what happened. That's what happened there.
Flying Pig United, you know how it is. Let's get to it.
That's what it is.
So
I mean,
so good.
Okay, so yeah, I'll reinforce it. Subscribe to Flying Pig. All the links in the description. He's on social media, Instagram, Twitter. Just get in the description and sign up to Mr. Flying Pig. He's still growing. I think he's on 49K, something like that. He's still growing.
Come on, let's get
to 50
big up.
people. Come on.
Big up, Flying Pig, still growing.
Let's go.
Everyone keep interacting. As for myself, I'm trying to get my own content going. I've already brought out some animation on the previous channel. I'm actually rebranding my channel. It's going to be Eddie's Football Waffle, where I'm going to have different debates coming out, different analysis, animation as well. So Eddie's Football Waffle. That's Eddie with a Y. Look out for it. I'm going to be bringing it out. But yeah. We're wrapping up here, everyone. Thanks for getting in here. I do shout outs to everyone still in here. Thanks for staying in here. Tony, Vujinator, I don't think I said a shout out to you before. Thanks for getting here. He's one of the big mods. Gungshi, of course, First Class Gamer. Case Letter, thanks for the question. Shauno, thanks for getting in here. G Wolf Gaming, hope to see you on another fan panel as well. Big Fred, Avenger Mass, Batman Knight fan, of course. Avenger Mass, thanks for getting in here. All right, we'll see you on another show soon. And thanks for watching, guys. Okay, we're out.